Good afternoon and welcome. You're probably wondering where I've been. I've been missing for several weeks. By missing, I mean I haven't uploaded on this YouTube channel. In this video, I will explain my insight, my reclamation of thought, which I have come through with today. So, in the past 2 weeks, I moved to Illinois temporarily, and there I saw Christ. I saw his eyes look down at me while I was walking on the street, and I now regularly attend Sunday church and services, and I am a man of God now. Also, while I was there, I attended a gathering, you might say, of flat earthers, these new people which have come about. And while I was there and I went to several of these meetings, I reclaimed my thought. I understood the way that the world has always been, and we have just been blindsided. So first, I would just like to say, the world is not a disc. The world is not a globe. The world is a cone. The idea of the flat Earth theory is that the actual Earth is flat, is completely flat, and there's no cone on top of it. It's just a plane, and then it constantly hurtles up in space. It has the moon around it, and it has the sun around it as well. Very shake ideas, no real grounded evidence behind it. I believe the way that the world really is not a globe, but the world is a piece of a globe. So the world is a section of a globe which is slightly rounded on the top, and then below there is a cone. And this shape works perfectly. There are no flaws to it at all, and I will proceed to explain why. One of the main problems with the flat Earth theory is that gravity would not work on a flat Earth. Gravity would pull towards the center, and people on the outside would be drawn towards the inside. Flat earthers have made, several different claims on, how this can be fixed, but none of them have really got it. But with the cone Earth, the cone is rounded on the top. So when you walk here, you get the same gravitational pull as you do on the top. At the bottom of the cone is a lot of mass, a lot of mass. Maybe even a black hole is at the bottom of this cone. And so when you walk around on the top of the cone, you get pulled down to the center. That way the gravitational pull is completely correct and in order, as we would think the globe Earth would work. A common question which comes up when I suggest the cone Earth theorem to people is, why is the Earth a cone when the moon is a sphere? Well, the moon could be a cone as well. If there was a cone circling around a cone, then you have two cones, each with equally distributed magnetic force, and the fact that we have never seen the other side of the moon is just proof to that theory. The sun could also be a cone. There is nothing to suggest it could not be a cone, as the only thing we see of it is the sphere, but actually behind it there could be a much longer point. What is the reason for the cone shape? Well, the cone is nature's most beautiful symbol. We see it recurring through and through in different kinds of nature forms, and actually it could turn out that the cone Earth instead came from a much larger Earth. So the Earth we are seeing is actually a Earth Gata Sin Khan. So the Earth was once inside a bigger Earth, and then it came out after there was a significant disaster. So what we are living in now is not in fact Earth, but it is a small part of a much larger Earth. Perhaps this was an escape tactic which was used after a major extinction event. And of course we cannot be sure where the real Earth is now. Perhaps our government is flying us around in this cone Earth until there is time, and until there is the correct amounts of life stability to arrive back on the fully formed Earth. The government has a massive part in this, and I believe they have been hiding the cone Earth for so long, because the cone Earth theory has never come up before. It hasn't been talked about, and I think that is why it is so viable as an actual option, because wouldn't it make sense for the truth to be as obscure as possible? That makes sense to me. One major thing that I saw Donald Trump do, and he has been doing for a while now, is it's the classic Trump perfection symbol. And this hand symbol is actually exactly the way that a cone is held, suggesting that Donald J. Trump and the government is actually holding the cone earth inside his grasp. He has complete control over it. And that is why he is giving us the hints and the tips and the little pieces of information so that we can grab this information for ourselves. Sorry, the mic and camera turned off for a split second then. I hope you didn't miss too much of this. So anyways, yeah. In order for the Slavians to have made this, they would have had to have a massive amount of energy. I think it's also possible that if the cone extends a little further, so our atmosphere is actually hundreds of kilometers higher than we assumed it to be. And at the bottom of the cone, that is where hell is. That is where Satan himself is. When we die, we go off the cone and we go either to the bottom or we ascend with Jesus and we live the life of the Christ. I mean, I don't know, but it's possible, isn't it? I mean, we don't know that the world as a cone isn't part of a much bigger ram or elk of some kind. I don't know. The elk of the certain genus may be a variant of deer. So it's possible that we're actually looking at this. I don't know what the hell this is, but it needs to be stopped. Because if we don't stop it, then it could quite easily, wipe out all life. All life. The concept of that alone is enough to keep me at my home at night and just look up at the stars and think, maybe everything is a cone. Maybe those stars are cones. Maybe life started as a cone. There is no limit to how much the cone can condone. But anyways, I've become sidetracked, and I thank you all for joining me today and for all listening to what I have to say and for all being believers and not being slaves to the sphere. God bless. And as always, that's all I've got to say. And I guess you've all been coned.